I've always heard the saying that when a hurricane passes through, it's almost like a bomb went off. And I never truly understood it beyond seeing photos, and then as well hearing my parents talk about at least past storms that they witnessed, like Hurricane Hugo. That all changed at least last week when I landed in Montego Bay. The scale of destruction that I saw uh, was at least a bit more than I could ever imagine. I've personally been to Jamaica at least 3 or 4 times now, and just naturally getting on the island, there's this feeling of relief that kind of passes over you when you step down on the island. This time it was completely different. Just seeing the way the island was like landing, you can clearly see that all the greenery was gone. You can see homes in the hills where typically you wouldn't even be able to see those homes. So it definitely motivated me throughout the trip, just knowing that it was clear that the island was a pain and the people that were there even more so were in pain. I actually have I would say, um, personal connection to the island through my fiance. Her family was actually born and raised in Jamaica, specifically within the town of Bethel. Unfortunately, due to Hurricane Melissa, they actually completely lost their childhood home. I've always wanted to volunteer for something bigger than just myself. At first, I was pretty nervous because I didn't know what to expect, and being sent out happened very suddenly. On a day to day basis, I work in technical support. So typically, I'm the person that people come to when things are broken, and I'm here to fix it. Despite the nerves, the Jamaica Flying Labs team actually reassured me before I even left and while I was there that I was safe and supported. We woke up around 6 or 7 a.m. just to get up early. So we would head out to the field around 7, 8 a.m. I, as mentioned, am with the team Winter, so I was able to bring a Winter 1 Gen 2 with me. It allows, or at least us, to maximize the efficiency we're using to gather that data out in the field. We were working out in the site of Savannah Lamar. We covered 11 different regions in that area over the course of 6 days, despite at least weather delays and then as well the battery charging downtimes in between. We would get to an area, and the first thing people would ask as they see us jump out the vehicle, we put a Starlink on top of the car. I'm pulling out a huge case with a drone, and they would ask, "Why are you here? Why are you flying a drone?" The fact that I had two individuals from Jamaica with me definitely alleviated a lot of my personal stress, and it's a clear skill, being able to communicate with those in the community, and getting them to understand that we're not there to just uh, eh, you know, take pictures and provide it to the media. We were actually there to help and assist in the recovery efforts. I come from a small town where opportunities to interact with technology are very few and far between. While I was at the first site, and the very first site, like we pulled up, we got out, we unpacked everything, and I was assessing the area. At least some kids ran up to me while their dad was in the background, or at least rebuilding their home. And you can just see the spark in their eyes because they've never seen a drone, or at least that type of drone, I should say, in terms of how it sits on the ground, and then as well the fact that it's just bright and orange. It of course would appeal to a kid. The experience completely changed how I actually view disasters, and even more so, how I view what can actually help those during these events. Prayers are amazing. Like we can always ask for prayers, but on the ground support goes so much further for those women, kids, and men that are actually living through these unfortunate changes. I challenge those who are able to make an honest effort to lend their time, their funding, and their knowledge to the island of Jamaica. This island has completely changed the trajectory and the life of those living on the island. To some, Jamaica is just seen as a place for vacation, but to those living on the island, is way much more to them, and it put simply, it is their home. So as humans, I believe it's our duty to help each other, to stand back up whenever we fall, as we all have the same blood in our veins.